A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark, chapter 8, verses 27 to 37. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Jesus and his disciples headed out for the villages around Caesarea Philippi. As they walked, he asked, "Who do the people say I am?" "Some say John the Baptizer," they said. "Others say Elijah. Still others say one of the prophets." He then asked, "And you, what are you saying about me? Who am I?" Peter gave the answer, "You are the Christ, the Messiah." Jesus wanted them to keep it quiet, not to breathe a word of it to anyone. He then began explaining things to them. Is it necessary that the Son of Man proceed to an ordeal of suffering, be tried and found guilty by the elders, high priests, and religious scholars, be killed, and after 3 days rise up alive? He said this simple and clearly so that they couldn't miss it. But Peter grabbed him in protest, turning and seeing his disciples wavering, wondering what to believe. Jesus confronted Peter. "Peter, get out of my way. Satan, get lost. You have no idea how God works." Calling the crowd to join his disciples, he said, "Anyone who intends to come with me has to let me lead. You are not in the driver's seat. I am. Don't run from suffering. Embrace it. Follow me, and I will show you how. Self-help is no help at all. Self-sacrifice is the way, my way, to saving yourself, your true self. What good would it do to get everything you want and lose you, the real you? What could you ever trade your soul for?" The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. I am Father Joscuti Matthew, and this is Coffee with God. Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark, chapter 8, verses 27 to 35. Knowing the identity of God. Have you ever paused for a moment to reflect on your identity as a person? Who are you really? Why were you born? What do people think about you? It's not only part of our humanity to know ourselves. It is in fact a necessary question that we must all answer in order to grow spiritually. Several times in the Gospel, we read that the crowds and the disciples have asked the question about Jesus, "Who is this?" With today's passage, Jesus reveals the mystery, answers the question on everyone's mind, and shows his true face. He asks his disciples two pivotal questions. Who do people say I am? And who do you say I am? The first question addresses public opinion, but the second prompts a personal response. By this, Jesus calls us away from the public opinion to personal conviction about his identity. Peter boldly declares, "You are the Messiah." While his answer is correct, Peter envisions a Messiah like King David, a powerful ruler who would free them from the Roman invaders and reign from Palestine. Mark's Gospel was written for the Christians in Rome, urging them to reflect on their reasons for believing in Jesus. The misunderstanding that Peter and the other disciples had is a common challenge for all Christian communities. While professions of faith can be flawless, the underlying motivations are crucial. Jesus reveals to us that if we are to accept him as our Lord, we must accept his way of the cross, the way of love to the extent of emptying oneself. There is a link between personalization of our own experience of Jesus and sharing in his suffering. When we accept Jesus as the Son of God, we are also motivated to offer our lives for the good of others. Jesus the Messiah defies worldly expectations. He goes to Jerusalem not to conquer but to sacrifice his life, a prospect that deeply disappoints his disciples. They did not abandon their homes, boats, and families for a path that seemed destined for failure. Peter's reaction, representing all, is not out of fear of sacrifice but a desire to win, not to lose. This mirrors our own struggles as we often resist failures. Jesus' harsh response to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan," emphasizes the need to follow his lead, not our own ambitions.